Hello everyone, welcome back to Learnings, and in this video we're going to see how to create an incident in ServiceNow using REST API in UiPath Studio, and we're also going to discuss about how to create a REST API key in ServiceNow in order to create an incident. So before going to that, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please consider subscribing for more videos, and if you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any other doubts, do mention them in the comment section below. So firstly, let me show you how you can create a REST API key in ServiceNow, and then later on we will jump into how we can actually implement that using the REST API and the HTTP in UiPath Studio. So first let me go to ServiceNow first here, and then type in REST API. There you can able to see the REST API Explorer here. Click on that. And here in the right side you can see the REST API Explorer, which says that allows you to quickly construct requests to access the ServiceNow inbound REST API. And just click on Explore. Then you can able to see here on the top allows you to perform create, read, update and delete CRUD operations on existing tables. So it gives us the indication that it has already the certain tables where you can perform the create, read, update and delete. So here in the left side you can able to see the create a record, which is post method, retrieve a record or modify a record, delete a record and update a record. So in this video now we are going to see how to create a record, and if you click on that, then you can see a record, which is a post method, and the endpoint URL here, and this is what it is required, the table name, which will be changed by this one. Here you can see prepare a request, where we are going to select as, click on the select table and we need to select it as an incident. Type in the incident, so you can see the incident, select that, and you don't need to change anything here. Coming to request headers, we are going to accept the request format as a JSON, and we are going to get the format as a JSON as well. So let us keep both same here, and then come and click on send, so that it will create an API key for us, or the URI which will be used in the HTTP endpoint. So here it says us it is modifying data, confirm to continue, and click on OK. And then you can see that the response is successfully created, which is 201. And here you can see the HTTP method which is given to us, which is post, and the URL here, and use the provided code samples to send the request from commonly used languages. So this URL will be used to send a request, and then it will accept the response from that particular API. So, and coming to bottom, you can see the response body of this particular request, and there are several parameters that we can insert, and some of them like the description and the short description. Here let me show you the description and the short description in this one. So you can see the description here. So these are all the parameters that we can pass from an Excel sheet that we're gonna work on today. So we're gonna pass on the values from an Excel sheet, how we can create a multiple data records as well, how we can insert multiple records into ServiceNow. So, and I'm just copying this one from here, the HTTP, and up to the incident. Just copy this. Now we're gonna build this in the UiPath Studio. The ServiceNow part is done now, so let us come back to UiPath Studio. And before going to build this process, you need to have a certain packages installed. So those are web activities, which is JSON, REST, SOAP and XML. So make sure that you install this activity package, and now what we're going to do here is we're going to type in the HTTP and drag in the HTTP request into the sequence. Here it pops up to enter the endpoint. So enter the endpoint that we copied from ServiceNow here, and in this format we are actually taking JSON. So accept response as JSON, and the request method is not get. In our case we are inserting the records to ServiceNow, so it is post. And the authentication, here it is a simple HTTP authentication, and I will pass it later on. I just click on OK, and I'm using the get password in order to pass it securely. So I'm using the get password activity, and I will type in the password. So this is my password. Let me create a variable for this one. Let us name this as password. So this is the password. So let me come here. So let us see the properties of HTTP now, and what are the things that we need to pass while creating an incident. So this is the display name and the timeout, and then the accept format, that we are accepting a JSON format. So select this as a JSON, and the endpoint URL which is provided here, and the method is post. These are not required as we are not actually taking the auth verifications. We are just passing the simple authentication here. So you need to provide the password and the username of your instance, and my password is my username is admin. So I'm passing the admin and the password. I just passed it is the simple authentication. So that step is finished. Once that is finished, here you need to pass the body format. So instead of XML, actually the body format will be JSON. So change that to JSON here, and we also need to provide some outputs, which is status code, whether that is successfully inserted into the ServiceNow or not. So let me make it as status code. So let me make this as a S code, and let also take the result of it is ServiceNow, right? So S result. So let us make this as a S result, ServiceNow result on the ServiceNow code. Now these steps are done. The pending property that we need to set here in the HTTP request is the body, which need to be passed in order to insert into ServiceNow, where we need to pass the JSON object. For creating a JSON object, I am taking an invoke method here, and let me drag that in. Here I need to create an object here. So let me create a variable called as a JSON object. So it is the JSON format that I am going to create for the records which need to be inserted in ServiceNow from the Excel. So this should be a JSON object. So let us go for browse for types and type in the J object. Then you can see this one, network link JSON. Just click on OK. That is the JSON object, and the target object will be a JSON object, and the method name would be add. And the parameters, here we need to pass two parameters, which would be the name of that particular column. So here we are mentioning it as short description. So we are inserting only short description into the ServiceNow, and then this is the input, which is a J token. So let us search for a J token, which is this one. Click on OK, and we're going to pass the value. So the value would be test value. So let us click on OK, and you can see the error is gone. So we are going to HTTP request, and we are going to pass this JSON object as a HTTP request. So I am going to click here JSON object, we need to pass that as a string. So JSON object dot toString, which gonna give you the JSON object. And let me drag in two message boxes here to see the output result of the status code and the result value. So let me drag in two message boxes, and the HTTP request will be S code and the other one will be S result. So that's it, and how we can actually insert records into ServiceNow. This is a simple example of a single a value. So we are actually inserting a short description. So let us quickly run this and see whether it is working fine or not. So the process is started now, and you can see the value cannot be null. Okay, here we need to initialize the JSON object. So let me go back to variables. In the JSON object, create a new JSON object and click on save and run this again. The process is started now, and we can able to see that the record is inserted successfully into for the service. Now here it is 201, and click on OK, and you can see the result which is inserted, and click on OK now. And if you come here and we are going to incidents, go to incidents, and you can see the short description is no, not this one. Let us go to all, which is test value. Here you can see the test value incident which is created, and this is the one, the test value. So now what we are gonna do here is we are gonna loop through the Excel file and try to implement this particular scenario here. And when we are having 5-6 records in an Excel file, and we need to update this into the ServiceNow using REST API, then let us see how we can do that. And the first thing that I need to do here is I need to read the whole range of the Excel. So I will use a read range, and I need to pass the workbook path, which would be data.excel here, and click on OK. Click on open, and then we need to read the whole range of the sheet 1, and we need to get the output data table. So we make that as a DT, and after that take a for each value here, and the other one inside of this for each. So what is happening here is every row. So first we need to loop through the column. No, first we will get a row by row, and then we will iterate through column names. So let me take it as a row, and then it is a dt dot rows. So it is first, it is dt dot rows value, and then it is dt dot columns. And now let me drag in couple of message boxes up here so that we can able to understand what is going on here. And let me make this as item dot toString, and this should be row of 0 dot toString. So this toString is not taken here because of the reason here we used a for each. So we need to change the type argument here. Go to browse for types, search for system dot data, and then select the data row from here, which will be a data row, this one, and then click on OK. Then you can probably see row of 0 dot toString, the error is gone. Now let me run this and show you what is happening with those two for each loops. Here it's when we're going to read this Excel. So let me run this again. The Excel is open. Yeah, so we're going to read this Excel file and create a data table from that, and we are iterating through each column name. So you can see the first column name here is the description from this message box, which is in item dt.column names from the description, and then we are actually taking the row of 0, which is network issue, and then that is the other column name would be short description, and then that it is because it is row of 0, it is showing only the network issue and the hardware issue, and it is done. Now what we need to do here is, let me delete these two, and this is the main method where we are actually creating a JSON object. So we need to pull this inside the for each. Instead of passing these values, the short description is nothing but the column name. So let me pass item.toString, which will give me the column names and a J token as well. So the token here would be a row of 0.toString. Instead of a 0.toString, I need to pass an incrementing counter for that. So let me create a counter variable, counter, which should be an integer value, and let me change the scope, and it will be 0. It will start from 0, and up here, so I'm going to pass it as, instead of row of 0, I am passing it as a counter dot toString, and I'm going to counter is equal to counter plus 1. I'm going to increment this value. So where we have successfully done this by creating an object, the JSON object. So let me drag in a message box here, and we are going to see the output of what is the JSON object output. We are going to look at that, and JSON object of toString. And instead of that, okay, let us place that there, and another message box up here about the total string of the JSON object. Yeah, so let us go ahead and run this again to check what is the JSON object that is actually coming out from that particular data table there. You can see the first one, which is created like a JSON object, which is description, that is network issue. The second one would be short description for this, and here you can see it is a short description, which is internet, and then there is an error because here there is only 2 columns and the 2 rows, and there is no third column. So it is searching for the third column. So we need to tell that there is no third column. Then you need to get back to the 0th column, which is, it need to start again. So how can we do that? Then instead of passing counter, we need to pass a value that whenever the column names, let us say that instead of passing counter, so we need to get the column count dt.columns.count, which will be 2 here in this case. So whenever the dt.columns.count minus of what it need to be segregated, it need to be taken out from dt dot columns minus columns dot count minus counter. So here the counter value would be 0 for the first time, then the dt.columns.count would be 2, and this count would be 2. 2 minus 2, it is 0, row of 0, and whenever it is 1 and the dt columns dot count, no, dt columns dot count will be 2 and minus 2 the counter will be 1, so 2 minus 1 it is 1, so it is row of 1. Whenever the dt dot columns dot count 2 and the counter is also 2, it actually 2 minus 2 0, right? But what we need to do here is whenever this column count is less than this counter, then we need to make this again as a 0. For that, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take an if condition here, and what we're gonna do here, whenever the values are greater than the dt dot, so we are gonna take this as a dt dot columns dot count so if it is 2 and it is less than counter value, so now the counter value would be 1 and then next it will be 2 and 2 is less than 2, it is not equal, and then we need to assign again counter is equal to 0. So let us verify this now whether we can able to achieve this or not, then we can see how we can achieve that. So that it is started and it is description, it is short description, and there is an error stating that the same name already exists on the object. So what it says is it successfully added the first JSON object, but when it is trying to add in another one, the description and the short description are already in the JSON object. So what we can do for that is, after completing that, we're gonna make up the JSON object as a new one so that it will not contain the old data which is present there. Object, so we are actually making a new object for the JSON object, and let me try this now. So the first one, the second one, third one, the fourth one, and this would be my JSON string. And before doing this as well, think we need to do something that it adds up to that value. So what we're gonna do here is that is created, and instead of that let me drag this in and check what is the JSON object inside of that. So it is the first description, then the short description, okay. Let us run this in a debug mode so that we can see the if column is actually doing a bit here. Now it actually reading let me jump in, make it step into, and then step into again, step into. Now it is created a JSON object and the first one. And now it come to this one, and it need to go in this direction, but it actually going to this, and there is a new object every time. So here the condition would be the column count is 2 and the counter value is 0, so it is always a less than value for this. So what we need to do here is we need to add up to this value whenever there is the dt.columns.count minus. So let us verify this one whether we did this correctly or not. Here the dt.columns.count will be 2 and the dt.columns.count minus counter will be 2. 2 minus 2, which is 0, the first row of the first column, and 2 minus 1, which would be 1. Here that will be 2 minus 1, which will be 1, row of 1, and whenever now it is 2 again, minus 2 again, minus 2, which is 0, which is row of 2, which is not there. So we need to make a new counter again to actually make this counter 0. So whenever the dt.columns.count should be less than the counter. So dt.columns.count, let us copy this, and this whatever the value that is coming here, that is should be less than the counter, right? If it is greater than the counter, now let us say here it is 1, the counter value is 2. 1, it is 2 minus 1, which will be 1, so it need to be end here. So then the counter value will be 2, and let us say that if it is equal to counter, if it is greater than dot counter greater than the counter, then it need to go here, or if it is not a greater than counter, then it will to come here. So let us check this condition out here, and let us go to step into here. If this condition is good, then we are good enough to wrap this up and insert the data into the service now. So this is the tricky part here, while actually making the Excel part to loop again and again. So this will be the JSON object for me, and now it is gone to then. Now it will show you the JSON object, and again we are coming from the top. Now you can see the JSON object is created. Now it get to here, and now it need to make this up, and again it need to go here, and again top, because it is actually there are some other rows as well. So again it is to come in, it need to create JSON object. So it is done. So let me continue this, and let me stop this. Now the looping part is done. So this is how you actually assign the data from an Excel file to the JSON object. So we are done with the JSON object creation here. Now instead of making this here, now we will move this here. Before doing it as a 0, we are going to upload this. So let me click on demo, and we are gonna drag that in, So let me cut this. Let me cut this one and paste it here, and this as well. Let me drag in two message boxes quickly. This will be not the schema, it will be S code, status code, and status result. And this is a pretty long video, but I hope this helps on creating the incidents using the REST API. So yeah, we are done. So let us check whether we are able to make it through from the Excel, moving through the Excel and inserting the data into the ServiceNow record. So here is the first JSON, and click on OK there, and this is the JSON file that is created, and you can see it is successfully inserted into the ServiceNow, and this is the result, and this is the second record which is present in the Excel file, and it is also created. So this is the result, and now let us go back and check that here. Let me refresh this page, and you can see the values which is internet and the computer here. If I open this, you can also find the description part. This is the short description, but the short description is computer here, that you can actually see that, which is given in the Excel file. So this is how you create an incident using the REST API key in UiPath Studio, and this is how you loop through the Excel file and create a sequential JSON objects and then uploading them back to the ServiceNow records. And that's it for this video. I hope this is a pretty long video, but it helps in creating the ServiceNow records using the REST API. And if you like this video, please give it a like. If you have any other doubts, do mention them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.